Hi, it's Penny Black and Jill Foster here for your next PB&J card class. Today we'll be actually making a 4x4 mixed media canvas featuring one of my favorite new transparent sets by Penny Black called Blooming Garden. And here's a look at that canvas. And this canvas is actually created on a what's like a wooden canvas. It's called a cradle board, and I picked it up at my local craft store. So it's essentially like a canvas, but it is wooden. So to begin, I've just picked out several pattern papers. These are from My Mind's Eye, their Chevron collection. And I'm just going to start collaging onto this canvas. And it's already been primed. It came that way. If yours wasn't, you could do this, prime it with gesso and then add your paper. And I'm using Mod Podge, and I'm putting it under and over the paper. There's really no rhyme or reason to this except just to enjoy your favorite pattern papers, use them, get them on there. I was sort of thinking that I would want a little bit of pink up in that left-hand corner because I was going to put the poppy down in the right-hand corner. And then some greens, sort of turquoise for the sky, and then some more olive greens on the bottom. So you'll kind of see me doing that here as I collage these pieces on. And what's fun about mixed media is that really once this canvas was done, only a hint of these pattern papers are there, but they're still a part of the design. They might lead me in a different direction as I go. And just a peek of them showing out here and there does add to the canvas, even though you don't completely see them all in the end. And this part of the process is really fun because you can just be free, let it go. There's no wrong way to do it. You don't have to color or cover all of the parts of the canvas. If some white is still showing, it's fine. Now once that's dry, I'm going to add some acrylic paint. And what I'm doing is I'm just squeezing a bit at the top, and then I'm going to take a strong piece of cardstock and pull it down. That way I just get parts of the canvas covered with the paint. I'm sort of keeping that over on the side where I pictured having most of the teal. I'm also adding it along the edge of the canvas. You could use a brush for this too. You could also use like a credit card to pull down the paint as well. I just used a piece of scratch paper. So now I'm just going to switch colors. And then at this one I'm just kind of pulling down with my hand because I wanted a little bit more coverage, and I wanted to be able to sort of pat that and blend it in. And then I'm also adding that along the sides as well. And then finally I'm just going to add a little touch of green here at the bottom. And if you get too much, you can always pull it up with your finger, or you can take a baby wipe and sort of wipe it down if you want to see more of your pattern paper showing beneath. And then as I work between each step, I am drying this with my heat gun. I just didn't show it on camera. Now this is Penny Black's Dots in Space background, and I'm using my Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft Stampers Big Brush pens to add some texture. So just coloring right onto the stamp and then stamping it onto the canvas. And the reason I'm using these pens as opposed to an ink pad is that they are India ink. So once they're dry, they're going to be permanent. So I can add more layers and paint on top of that and not lose that texture. Not have them blend or smear either. This is another new Penny Black background called Roman Surround. And I'm just adding that just randomly onto the canvas. I switched colors here. Now I'm using a green Stampers Big Brush pen. Again, I want to let that, make sure that it's dry before going on to the next step. Now this is a stencil from our Crafters Workshop, and I first started here spraying it with some mist, but I just wanted something a little bit stronger than that pattern. So I just wiped it up before it was dry, and then went in with that same stencil and some VersaFine ink and a sponge dauber. So I'm just grabbing those here. And then I'm just dabbing that on. So here I'm taking that penny black stamp, Blooming Garden. I just love this set and this poppy. I think is so beautiful. And I'm going to stamp this onto tissue paper using archival black ink. And what this does is it makes it an easy way to get a great impression of the stamp, but then also transfer that onto all those layers that are on the canvas. So if I had stamped that directly onto the canvas, it might not have stamped so well because there's so many different layers of pattern paper and paint. And this way I just get a great impression. So I'm going to trim now around that image, and you can see that on the left. And then I'm going to put this down onto my canvas with Mod Podge. The tissue paper will become transparent, but you will still see the stamping and the flowers. So I put Mod Podge underneath, and then I'll put Mod Podge over the top. And when you put the Mod Podge over the top, you want to put it on very gently, because you're going to see here as I add it on top, I did go at it for a little bit too long and sort of rubbed off one of the blossoms. So just a little bit is needed actually as you put that on top. But if part of it rubs off, you could always just restamp that section and put it on. Or like I did, I just kind of went on without it. So I'm just kind of patting that Mod Podge on top. And there you can see the boo-boo, but no biggie. That's one thing with mixed media. The grungier it looks, sometimes the better. So now I'm painting these in, and I'm using Dr. P.H. Martin's Hydrus watercolors. And I chose these because they're really bold, really bright, but yet they're also transparent. So when I put the paint on those flowers, I still see the flower, the stamping show through. So the black line of the stamping. So I'm just going to paint these in. I'm using a variety of colors. I'm just squeezing them onto an acrylic block over there on the right hand side, and I can blend the colors, I can mix them over there, and I can add them onto my canvas. And you can keep layering to if you want to brighten up that color, but you can see it covers really well over top of all the textures that are beneath it. Now I went in there with a Pit Artist pen just to touch up where I had accidentally rubbed off that part of the stamp. And I'm just continuing here to add some additional shading and painting using the watercolors. And I'm just going to continue to add the watercolors, and you'll see me add just a touch of the acrylic paint of that turquoise that I did for the background, just to add more texture and some more depth to the background and around the flowers. A little bit later in the video, you'll also see me put some of the white Hydrus watercolor onto the acrylic block. That is opaque. It is the only one of the watercolors that you need to shake before you use it. You can mix it with the other colors, or you can use it as I did. I just painted it right on. So I'm just going to speed this up here, and you can continue to watch as I add more painting and layers to the canvas until it's finished. details and more information, visit the Penny Black website, www.pennyblackink.com, and here is a list of all the supplies used.